Hello and welcome back to one of our hot dogs, horseshoes and hand grenades. I'm CZSurvivor, and today we are going to do a little bit of experimentation in update 120 experimental 12 question mark. Wait, you won't go on there. You've got the integrated muzzle brake. Fool. Anywho, so we're going to need some tools. We're going to need to, not that, be gone. We need the toolbox. To come out of the toolbox, we need that. Yoink. And we need that. Yoink. Okay, and where is our deleter? Perfect. And you can go. Oh, wonderful. Okay. We've cleaned some stuff up. So, thing I didn't show last time. If you point at a bunch of tools, you can see some of the data and turn it on and off. So, if I go to eeny, meeny, miny, mo, this new item, the clock. Let's look at the clock. So, if I point this at here, this clock has a frequency. And it has an output mode of true/false, true only, which is something that I was complaining about last time that did exist because I was only experimenting and didn't realise about this feature. So, true/false will cause it to do that. True only will lock it on. Now, this will toggle the clock on or off, it should. So, if I set this to true/false, which is good, it doesn't quite, do what I want to do to fix something, but it's okay. It allows some options. Basically, it means does the clock send a true and a false signal, or when it has a, so does it do on off, or does it do on, rather than on off, on off, on off. Basically, the on one, when it's always only true, you can use that as a reset signal, is what my brain's thinking of. So, I'm trying to think. For example, the targets. You don't want to flop it back down. You only want to reset it back to the up state, for argument's sake. So, you use this to reset it, and let's say you want every target to pop back up after 5 seconds. So you pop up, bang, 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 bang. Did you get them all in 5 seconds? Well, it's determined if they all pop back up. So with this should turn. So that should have it on. That should have it off. Is on. 1 second, let's grab this. True. False. Okay, Anton, I think your clock might be broken. The input thing is not working. Can I see any of the... No, it's signal clock. There isn't a on-off mode here. I want to be able to turn the clock off. I guess a way around this would be this instead. Okay, use my knowledge. I want that, and I want that. And I want the output to be that. So as of now, it's going to be off. Because if I take this, and I connect this, we can also see it here. It's currently off because this is off. So if I delete that, if I set this to true, this will flick because this is constantly on. So this is always true. When this toggles to true, oh, we flash. Oh no, we're false. It's an AND gate. I would like some more gates, but I'm sure Anton will be adding them. Particularly a NOT gate, an OR gates, and exclusive OR gate. Those are your core ones. Technically, you don't need an exclusive core gate. You can build it from the other gates pretty easily, but then again, you can build all gates from everything. Depends how much fun Anton wants to do. Anywho, so we've got that. We have the randomizer. Thank you, Anton. Stop flashing. I said stop flashing. Thank you. So the randomizer has 2 output modes. Well, actually a bunch, but 2 that we'll mainly talk about. Ooh, I just knocked you all the way down. So we have floats. So floats are floating points. Decimals, if you're not mathy. Int is a random integer. And bool is a true or false. We then also have ranges for our ints and our floats. Basically, what random numbers we want to generate between. So, pointer. You are the set color. So if I do that and that, connect you to there, and set you to on. Wonderful. I need a clock. Put you over there. Bring the randomizer over here. Oh, that won't work because I haven't set my randomizer to be an integer. So we're going to have a random integer between 0 and 1. The clock is always on, and we set it to that. And it's just going to flip colours. I don't know what the colour range is for this. Do you know what? There is a way to test it. We got some new dials. Well, we had this original dial, 1 to 10, 1 to 9, 10 options. We now have 0 to 25, 0 to 24 for 25 options, and 0 to 31 for 32 options. Brain. So I'm going to knock you out. So we start at red. Is this just going to give us... Do we hit... We hit red again. So red is at... So we hit a red. So we start at 0. And we have a red. So there is 12 unique colours. 0 to 10 is colours. 11 is pure white. If I can actually rotate it onto it. Gosh, I am awful. Can I just, just point at that and just say set value? No. It was worth a shot. And then it starts looping. It must just, if the number's too big for the input, rather than always being stuck at white, it takes off 12 and tries again, and if that fails, takes off 12 again, because I guess that's what it's doing up here at 31. I guess that would work forever with the randomizer. Interesting. So we'd actually want on our randomizer 0 to 11 for our true set of values. And we should have a chance to see white, and there's a very easy way to get to it. Duh! We can get white now. What? Pick a random number between 10 and 11. Wait, yeah, there should be 2 numbers. Yeah, I said it's just 10. It should always be white. Wonderful. Okay. We've also got the indexer over here, which we will have fun with our targets. So I'm going to pilfer you two, because you two are of value. You are going to go. I'm going to leave that over there. I'm going to bring you over here. Re-grab. Shouldn't that... wait, do I have to be holding it to I think you can snap the pen by clicking on that. Oh well. There is a way to reset the pen, I remember there being, other than putting it in there. I thought you could grab it when it wasn't in here and it just... Heyo. Heyo, I'm forgetting stuff. So we'll set it, we'll point at the indexer. So as options, update all. Signal indexer for pass-through. Is that going to pass through the current? Right, I'm just going to test something. So, it has 4 options. So we've got a randomizer. We'll point the randomizer at that. We will set it for 0 to 3. With an output. That's not passing through. Now, here's a question. Is that doing a subtraction? So if I set this to 4 to 7. Yes! You can put indexes in series. So, in comes the number 8. Oh no! We've only got... in comes the number 6. We've only got 4 options. Right, well, I don't do any outputs here, but I subtract 4 from 6, gives us 2, and pass that on. So this allows you to put indexes in series to work with bigger and bigger numbers. A way to visualize this, I know how to visualize this. Okay, sorry, my brain is having nerdy last numbers. Yoink. No, don't need you. You. Right. So this. So, I could probably do with explaining these, but hey. You. I then want to set a value between 0 and 4. So, something feels wrong about this. What if I set that to update all, update all. I don't want it to update all. I want it to update signal. So this should, with the way it is, slowly pop them all back up. They're all up. So let's get ourselves a gun. So as the random number generator goes, bang, 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 it pops them back up. So I'm picking random targets. Now I feel that's a little slow for me. So let's half it. Reload. Can I get them all down? Yep. Yeah. So a little shooting gallery's already been built. Just with this, with a clock setting the speed, randomizer spitting out a random number, and by putting them in series, we've got more than 4 targets. And we can see it here. Cool. Very cool. I was going to grab one of the buttons and do it, and show you it, but why? When I can do this? I could have showed this with a bunch of lights, but I thought this was more fun, because this gives you an idea of how you can have a shooting range. Also, the buzzer has got an update. So, we have signal, play current note. Signal beeper, play note. So the difference between these two both trigger a beep. This one triggers the beep that has been set via this. This plays a beep when it receives an integer, and that beep is of the note that it receives from one of these numbers. We've got a volume over here, how very nice. And we've got an instrument. We can choose different instruments. So we could set up, similar to this, with the randomizer and the clock, to randomly generate a note. We could pick an instrument. Do you know what? Why explain when I can do? I don't know how many instruments there are on this. Let's stick with a simple one. Okay. We need a clock. We need a randomizer. So that and that. Why not? Let's have some fun. And you. So let's set our randomizer to an int. I don't know how many notes there are. We'll go with that. So we want to set a random number. Hello? Why is that invalid? Can't connect? Question mark? Why? You are connected. Lying thing. Button. Buttons are still buttons. Every time I press it, it should pick a random note. So I'm just going to disconnect this. We can just have a little listen. Okay, so it sounds like the 8 instruments. Isn't it? Because that's the... That is 1. Yeah. Ignore me being awful. So, we can set the instrument. Let's have that one. And rather than connecting it up to that, let's connect our randomizer up to this. So we'll hear random pitches. Which is pretty cool. Now, there is one thing that I want. Very similar to a randomizer, but a counter. Every time it receives a signal, increment its integer by whatever value you want, and output it. And it can also work as a decrementer, decrease the value. So you could go but you could skip out ones, and you could do some funky math stuff and have some true fun with it. Maybe you could also have it as an option that inputs. You can input a integer, and you can increment different values for different scores. Ooh, because we're mostly dealing with input systems here, aren't we? There's a few outputs, but it's mostly inputs, and the outputs that exist are just more like verification tools. Ooh, Anton, you're having fun, and I cannot wait. And of course, more gates. Always more gates. More logic gates. Who doesn't want a logic gate? Wonderful. But anywho, Anton, thank you for this update. You are really doing good with Game Planner, and I am loving it. But anywho, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did so, hit that like button. I feel like this, something like this, is the perfect screenshot for chaos. Yes. Anywho, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did so, hit that like button. Got any comments, questions, drop them in the comment section down below. I'll answer if possible. New channel, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. Don't forget, join a union. Fight for your rights. You are a worker. You deserve dignity and respect and an equal say of how things run, because you are the poor souls that must suffer through how things are currently run. And how many of you can say that your workplace runs even remotely smoothly, let alone barely functioning? Sorry, I said that the wrong way around. Barely functioning, let alone smoothly. You'd think I'd be good at English by now, but hey. Language. So, if I was to suggest a union, it would be the Industrial Workers of the World, the Wobblies, linked down in the description to the IWW, for NARA, in North America, and WISERA in Europe, New Zealand, Australia, and a few other places. If the IWU is not in your area, either A, set up your own branch in that area, well, regional organising committee, yeah, we can always help with that. Or, join another radical union in your place. There's got to be some. The CNT. The French CNT as well. My brain is not thinking of any more. It's frazzled. Oh well. Stay well and Survivor out. Solidarity forever. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.